to believe that the course of struggle is determined solely by the activities of isolated groups involves the fallacious assumption that masses are rock-like and incorruptible and they will join the national struggle automatically. In fact, history proves that without the most intensive all-round political mobilization, this is more likely that the result may not be positive in respect of people's involvement in national resistance. It is therefore of vital importance that the leadership of National Liberation Movement is broad-based and nationwide. This can only be possible when the leadership of various groups realize the fundamental importance of political mobilization on a joint platform. This realization might be the proper answer to the question of a meaningful struggle against the enemy. After objectively analyzing the history of various national liberation movements in Asia and Africa, one comes across the fundamental importance of an organization or institution capable of streamlining, organizing, and implementing the strategies of the national resistance. The solutions for burning issues confronting the Baloch national struggle also lies in the formation of a broad coalition of the nationalist parties, groups, and individuals, which are presently active on the nationalist front as separate entities. In the circumstances facing the Baloch, it is imperative that a united front of all resistance movements and political organizations, groups, and individuals should be formed without wasting any time for the completion of formalities. The historical responsibility rests on every patriot to call for the creation of such a front. Such a coalition of nationalist forces will obviously produce far-reaching positive results and would attract huge popular support and international sympathy. The cohesion and unity of action between various nationalist and social groupings will constitute not only moral justification for a move towards a comprehensive and all-out resistance movement, but what is more important, conditions will be created making a departure into a correct direction. I would like to briefly mention some of the salient features of such a proposed united front. Number one, the program of this front must be reflective of genuine needs and aspirations of the Baloch masses. Number two, the struggle under the banner of the United Front should be a struggle of the Baloch people, inspired by their own sufferings and by their own experiences. Number three, keeping into account the skepticism of some leaders and groups among the Baloch leadership, present initiative should not be an attempt to unify various factions into a single political party. However, the partners in the United Front should be prepared to address the question of unification in their debates and discussions. Maintaining their separateness as political organizations, various factions should develop collaboration politically and socially in order to bring the people closer, to promote common understanding and to pave the way for ultimate unity. Number four, in present circumstances, it is also important that United Front should not waste its energy to win over the support of the established collaborators and opportunists within the Baloch ranks. Rather, it should concern the unity of genuine nationalists themselves. Number five, the United Front must not be a marriage of convenience, but should be a political alliance based on a common and genuine regard for the achievement of final aim of national liberation. Number six, It should be among the core responsibilities of the United Front to effectively coordinate the activities of resistance forces on both sides of the Gold Summit line. Number 7, the United Front should firmly believe in the organized power of the people as the motive force critical to the radical transformation of the Baloch society. And in our particular circumstances, in the construction of a new Baloch polity adjustable to the needs of 21st century. Number 8, the United Front should be of the conviction that both political and economic powers are inalienable rights of the masses. In this way, the nationalism for which the United Front should stand be the concept of freedom, prosperity, and dignity for the Baloch people. It's very sad to observe that for the past many years, the Baloch national resistance has been confronted with imaginations, rhetoric, and fallacies of all kinds. The leadership of the resistance failed to realize the fact that to ignore the real situation and to play about with imaginary forces, concepts and ideals is to invite failure. Experiences of past movements had proved that revolutionary sounding phrases do not always reflect revolutionary policy, and revolutionary sounding policy is not always the springboard for revolutionary advance. Indeed, what appears to be revolutionary can often be counter-revolutionary. Untimely, ill-planned, or premature manifestations of resistance strategies impede the way of national liberation. They do not advance the prospect for the achievement of ultimate aim and are clearly counterproductive. It is therefore obvious that it is not only the organizational structure of a resistance movement which matters, but it is also of vital importance that policies must grow out of the real situations if they are not to become meaningless cliches. The outburst of unorganized violence and individual acts of heroism might be considered as symptoms of militant spirit of resistance, but are not being appreciated in today's international political milieu. The winning of freedom for a nation demands more than passion. It demands achievement over drama. It demands an objective understanding for the implementation of theory and practice and actual conditions facing the nation. It demands a sober assessment of obstacles facing the resistance. It demands an appreciation of the fact that a national liberation struggle is bitter and protracted. For the success of a national resistance movement, the masses have to be activated in a multitude of ways, and this calls for the exercise of every form of feasible strategies under the banner of a broad union of nationalist forces. It is imperative that the United Front must reject all manifestations of militarism which separates armed resistance from its political context. A gun in the hand of a person having no political or organizational control is not different from a gun in the hand of a robber. It is for the political leadership and institutions to have the overall control on political mobilization and over all other forms of resistance activities. There should not be any ambiguity concerning this. The primacy of political leadership must be unchallenged and supreme. Every kind of resistance must be subordinate to political leadership. This is a time-tested approach and is borne out by experiences of successful national liberation movements in Asia and Africa. These are testing time for the Baloch. The solidarity of Baloch masses and leadership is necessary in the given circumstances. Forging unity and developing feasible strategies for the national resistance is the need of the hour. It is imperative that the political leadership must reason and act in time. The intelligentsia and the political leadership will have to shed their skepticism. They will have to abandon grumbling and wavering on important national issues. They should be clear and loud and unambiguous on the question of our national identity and our right to be the master of our own destiny. They have to reach the people and speak a language that the Baloch masses can appreciate and international community can understand. Leaders and groups who are unable to understand the importance of political mobilization and unity are leaders who fail to adjust to the new mood of the Baloch masses are certain to fall by the wayside. Thank you.